5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
It's the Bad Crypto Podcast. Grab your knife, grab your spoon, some plates, and a fork, because today is the day that the big Bitcoin fork has occurred. The great forkening, as it shall heretofore be known. This is Joel Comm. I'm here for episode number 5, along with my compadre in crypto, Travis Wright. Welcome, Travis.
Yes, it is the day that will forever be known as This Forkin' Day, August 1st, 2017. It's
and the lovers of the world are just saying, can't we just spoon instead?
No forking way. We are not doing that, Joel Comm. Not today. You cannot make us.
I want to make note. I want to like us to be really quiet for a moment, because the noise coming from your computer sounds like you're mining. Here, listen to this. Can you guys hear that?
There's a little mining going on in the back end, and it doesn't want to stop. I've tried to stop it. It's just going to keep going.
How many
it's
coins
looking
have
for
you
the
mined?
coins. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! You're
Found
the
some Bitcoin.
You're the one with the ka-ching over there. There we go. Sound effects in real time.
Thank you to everybody. The podcast continues to grow in listeners. Our ratings continue to go up, and we're just so tickled. We're tickled crypto pink that you guys are connecting with us and enjoying the broadcast, and obviously telling your friends, because with each broadcast we do, the audience continues to grow. And so thank you. We humbly bow to you, our listeners.
Yes, seriously, it's been amazing. I mean, we're closing in on what, 8 to 10,000 downloads and listens already. I mean,
Yeah, in less than 2 weeks.
in less
It's just
than 2 weeks.
really phenomenal. And
Yeah.
I think I know why. I think it's because we have Doge on our logo. Actually, the Reddit Dogecoin group is now aware that we have a Shiba dog, which is the Doge on the Dogecoin. That's part of our logo, and they're like, "When are you going to talk about Dogecoin?" And so, well, I just did, but we will in the future talk about Dogecoin.
And absolutely. And today we'll talk a little bit about some altcoins, which that's pretty much what happened with the fork. Was we had a new altcoin being created, but we'll go into that. But thank you so much. I mean, if you go on iTunes and you type in Bitcoin, I mean, we top up on mobile and desktop in the top 5. FinTech, we pop up in the top 3. Ethereum top 3, crypto top 2, Litecoin 1. You know, it's amazing, all these top terms. So we're able to be found. And I noticed, Joel, that we topped the 123rd top business podcast in the world this week. It looks like that's what we're rated right now. Crazy is that?
The future is bright for the Bad Crypto Podcast, because we don't know what we're talking about, but we're learning. And that's the premise of the show, is that Travis and I are relative newbies to the cryptocurrency space, but in the past few months, we have learned a ton. We've developed a passion for cryptocurrency, and as we learn, we're passing on the newfound knowledge that we have to you, and hoping that you'll have some of your questions answered, and that you'll be intrigued by cryptocurrency, and if nothing else, you'll have some fun at our expense.
That's true. And you know what? If any time along the way that you hear something that Joel or I say that is incorrect, we're not surprised. This is the Bad Crypto Podcast. This is not the Good Crypto Podcast. And we're just two guys. Joel, one guy who's got amazing dulcet tones in his voice, and that's pretty much all we're relying on. And hopefully, and the Googles and a little bit of research.
There's some of our listeners are sitting with a buzzer, like every 5 seconds. They're going, No, wrong about that. But that's okay. And we invite you to give us feedback and join our community. If you'll go to facebook.com and search for the Brad. Who's Brad? This is Brad's
the Brad Pitt Crypto Podcast.
Search for Bad Crypto Podcast and join our community. Like our page, come on in. The water's fine, and have conversations with us because that's what we're all about. So the big news.
And
today,
before you get into the big news for the
Yes.
day, also mention we are on the Twitters and we set up an Instagram account. So you can check us out at Bad Crypto Podcast over there on Instagram. We already have about 100 connections, I think, already. We set that up a couple days ago, and so that's a place where we're going to put some funny memes and have a little bit more fun there. So if you like some jokes and some lighthearted things about the cryptocurrency world, tune in over there, Mr. Joel.
We're bad everywhere you go. So if you go to Facebook as of this recording, under trending, the number one trending story today all day has been Bitcoin splits in two amid feud from CNET.com. Sound a little clickbaity? Well, that's because it is. Now, on the last episode, number 4, Bitcoin mining, what the fork, we talked about the impending August 1st date in which a very, very small minority of Bitcoin miners were going to start their own currency, an altcoin that is called Bitcoin Cash. The symbol for it, if you want to look it up on coinmarketcap.com, is BCH. Travis, what the fork is Bitcoin Cash? And why do they call this thing a fork anyway?
Right, so, the blockchain is, if you recall from the episode 2, I believe, or 3, when we talked about the blockchain is an open ledger of every transaction that has ever happened in the history of that particular cryptocurrency, right? So when we're looking at Bitcoin, every single transaction since 2009 has been kept in this ledger. Now, what has happened is, the block size for Bitcoin is 1 megabyte. And some people are saying, hey, that's a little bit too small. We need to increase the size of that, or we need to be able to add a layer on top of that enables us to approve more transactions, per second, per minute, per every 15 minutes when those blocks be mined. Mo fastestness. And so what's happened is they had a deadline of August 1st to reach consensus on which one of the strategies they were going to do. Were they going to go big and go to the 8 megabit block size, or were they going to add this thing called SegWit 2x onto Bitcoin and then extend the capabilities of Bitcoin and evolve it? And last night, that happened. They did add SegWit onto the Bitcoin blockchain, but yet this morning, the smaller group of people decided they want to go ahead and create their own version with the 8 megabit. So they basically just forked off from the existing, blockchain ledger. So every transaction that's ever happened. Well, now if you've had any Bitcoin, you now have some Bitcoin, and you now have some Bitcoin Cash or Bcash, which is now an alternative coin or an altcoin, Joel.
Right, and this is similar to, we weren't really following this when the coin known as Ethereum did their hard fork, but as of today, there is an Ethereum, which is ETH, and there's a symbol ETC for Ethereum Classic, and the Classic version is worth a very small fraction, what is it, maybe a 10% of what, I don't know, let's actually go look at coin.
It's actually about 0.07 of a Bitcoin right now. But yeah, so it's kind of trending around a tenth, but 0.07 to point, it spiked this morning, and now it sort of looks like the trend is like, it's that dead cat bounce where it looks like it's slowly decreasing. And what's interesting is and there's some articles that we have in the show notes on badcryptopodcast.com for this episode, but it's looking like the price of this is going down, and the mining of it doesn't have nearly as much hash power because not as many miners are using this new rival chain. So it says only about 2% of Bitcoin's hash power is mining this new Bitcoin Cash. So it's going to take a number of hours before these blocks are mined, because it says they need to have at least 6 blocks mined with Bitcoin Cash. And as of this recording, that hasn't happened. However, Bitcoin Cash is being traded on the exchanges, and right now I think it's around
some exchanges.
Some exchanges. Yeah.
Some of them are not supporting Bitcoin Cash, but essentially everybody woke up this morning to an equal amount of BCH, Bitcoin Cash, to whatever they have in Bitcoin. So like on one exchange, I just had trace amounts. Well, that same trace amount of Bitcoin Cash showed up. Now I've got a Ledger Nano cold storage wallet, which is basically something that looks like a USB stick that I store my Bitcoin on, and I plugged it in a little while ago, and I went through the process of claiming my BCH, and sure enough, there was an equal amount of BCH. So it was free money, essentially, is what it was. And so some people are selling it as soon as they can, and others, like myself, are just going to hold it. Right now, it's worth about $273 per Bitcoin Cash, or about a tenth. It's worth 0.1 Bitcoin, a tenth of what Bitcoin's at. Now, here's what's really interesting to me, Travis, is people were speculating all kinds of crazy things. It was just last month that Bitcoin hit 3,000 and then dropped to 1,800, and then made a climb back up. And people were saying, oh, Bitcoin is going to crash. It's going to go down the tubes. See you at 1,500 when this fork comes, and then you can buy some there if you want. And there's others that were saying, oh, no, the fork's not even going to happen, and Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. Well, as of right now, Bitcoin is at $2,724. It's stable, it's steady. Ethereum is at $223. Litecoin is slowly creeping back up. It's almost to $44. The market is really incredibly stable, and the altcoins are doing really well also. So this, I had a talk with a guy that I've met recently in the crypto arena. His name is Matt McKibben. And I'll have to talk a little bit about a conference of his I'm going to in about a week. And I said to him, is this like Y2K, where it's just a bunch of hype and really it's going to be a big nothing burger? And so far, today has kind of been a big nothing burger.
Yeah, it's been wild to sort of watch it, because there's been so many different theories on what was going to happen, right? And so one of the theories was that, wow, so whatever Bitcoin Cash is going to be, that's going to take that amount away from Bitcoin, which would have made the most sense. And they were thinking that Bitcoin Cash was going to be around $400 to $800. And it looks like it came out of the gates at around $400. And as Joel mentioned, it's now around $270. And, I was right there with those folks that said once Bitcoin broke through $1,800, it looked like that next supporting area was $1,300, right? So, but that's one thing about cryptocurrency, Joel, is regular technical analysis that you might utilize with the stock markets. That doesn't seem to correlate with cryptocurrency, because I think people who are in crypto have a little different mindset, and it seems to go a little bit differently than you can sort of prognosticate, Mr. Joel Comm.
Well, and I think, Mr. Travis, right, it's because we are in still a fledgling niche with cryptocurrency. In fact, you posted something really cool today to our Instagram account, which I shared to, which you also posted on our Facebook page, which was a bad crypto minute. I loved what you did with it, and it was just a little tidbit of information that really serves bringing some information to people, because that's what information does. It brings information. My vocabulary is shrinking by the second. You discovered this last night as you were doing some research, and why don't you go ahead and sum up what it was you discovered there?
Yeah, so what's interesting is if you look at the amount of transactions that have happened from the beginning of Bitcoin overall, like starting in 2009. So in 2009, Bitcoin hit about 1,000 transactions per month. And then, so there's this chart on a Wikipedia page, History of Bitcoin. You can go check it out. And the notes, it'll be in the notes and the show notes as well, because that's what notes are for. They're for notes. And so in 2010, they hit, what was it? They hit 10,000 transactions a month. And then like in 2011, midway 2011, they hit 100,000 transactions a month. Then in 2012, mid 2012, almost 2013, they hit 1 million transactions a month. And in 2017, they recently hit 10 million transactions per month, right?
10 million
10
transactions.
million. So if you actually are looking at the trend, sort of the upward, if you create a line and you go, from 2009 to here we are, 2017, how does that line look, that trending line, and you just mark that out a little bit, it looks by the year 2020 that Bitcoin should have around 100 million transactions every month. By 2025, there should be, maybe even before that, 1 billion transactions per month. And that's actually some conservative estimations, I believe, as more people in the masses become aware of cryptocurrency, more people are going to be utilizing them, and so the amount of transactions that will happen are going to increase substantially. I mean, how many transactions happen each day on Visa or MasterCard?
Right. Well, it just a phenomenal number. I can't even imagine. I'm sure that data is available, but let's just, for the sake of making it simple, a lot of transactions. They're happening right now. Somebody just swiped. Somebody just swiped. Somebody just swiped. And probably faster I'm even saying it. That's how quickly they're happening. And so this is still very much a fledgling industry, this currency. It's like the first time somebody discovered gold, right, out west, and they said there's gold in them thar hills, and a bunch of people grabbed their picks and shovels and head that way. We're kind of still in that phase to some degree, where now we know there's gold, but people are mining it, and barring anything really unusual happening, to stop a flood like this, a trend line that just goes up, there really has to be some an equal and opposite force pushing against it that will slow it or stop it. And there's just no sign of that happening. So good time for a disclaimer. Neither Travis nor I are financial planners or investment advisors. We are just talking about what we have discovered on our journey and mandate that you go do your own due diligence. Do not take any of what we say as recommendations for investing your funds. We claim no responsibility whatsoever what you do with your money. Is that clear?
That sounds good. That sounds good. And I just did a little quick Google action with this thing called the Googles. And in 2009, that's the best data that I've found so far, according to the American Bankers Association, an estimated 10,000 payment card transactions were made every second around the world.
Oh my gosh.
Second.
That's amazing. Yeah. So if you were to break down that number you gave, how many Bitcoin transactions there are now, how many per second, get your calculator out and kind of break down, if you can, do some math there. If not, maybe we'll just put it in the show notes of what it comes out to be. Yeah,
I'm not doing that math right now.
Yeah, okay. Math is fun, though. Math is fun. Now, I have noticed something really interesting. We're going to talk about why I did this, but I bought just a small, fractional amount of Bitcoin on Coinbase so I could send it elsewhere, and it's been an hour ago that it was sent, and it's still waiting. It's 4 of the 6 needed confirmations have gone through. So I think there's a lot of transactions happening today, and I'm not sure if these updates that SegWit 2 is going to really make a big difference or not. We'll just have to wait and see how the dust settles on all of this.
So did some math, 14,000 transactions an hour. That is if we are doing I believe the 100, if you're doing 100 million, that would be in a couple of years. So I guess right now, 10 million transactions, per month. Well, divide that by what? On average, 30 days per month.
I'm going to play some waiting room music while you come up with
good. About 14,000 per hour is the math that I did.
Okay, so 14,000 divided by the 60 minutes in an hour is 233 a minute. divided by 60 seconds a minute is 3.8, basically 4 per second. And you said how many Visa and MasterCards are there per second?
10,000 per second back in
There
09.
you go. There is the answer right there. It's like Bitcoin compared to credit card transactions doesn't even make a dent. So imagine that the transaction numbers were approaching or is high or more than Visa, MasterCard, and then you can see
Imagine
the power.
all the transactions.
Crypto. Everybody wave your hands back and forth.
Using
Put your
cryptocurrency.
iPhone lighter app in the air and wave it around. Who's bad?
You may say I'm a hodler.
Okay, we are hodling, holding on for dear life. And I made a discovery today, okay? And it came from speaking with a friend of the show, Michael Taggart, who is connected to BitShares. We're going to be talking with him just privately tomorrow to get some more information on this. But, we promise to share as we learn, even though we don't know it all. And I'm going to share something that I've learned today, just today.
Just today? This is brand new, fresh information. This is like hot off the brain.
So there is a platform out there that's called Waves, Waves. And Waves is actually a currency of its own that you can trade in. But if you go to wavesplatform.com, you can take a look at this. Again, it's not an endorsement of this. I'm just learning. But as I was speaking to Michael today, he said, you can create your own blockchain token. And I said, huh? Yeah, that was actually, I think, what I said, that you can create your own token. And I'm thinking, wait, I can make my own token, or, I'm going to call it a coin because I like the sound of coin better than token, and make it so that it's tradable. And he says he's going to show us how tomorrow. Now, I'm not sure how he is going to suggest that we would do something like that, but I use the Google machine and I found Waves. Well, I have a few coins on the Waves platform. It's an exchange and a trading platform as well, but it turns out it says on their main page, your blockchain token in 1 minute. And what that includes is being able to take real world money and move it back and forth through the blockchain to create your own tokens that are secure, fast, and decentralized, that have smart contracts that allow you to do crowdfunding and raise private equity with transparency, and that it is crowd investing compliant. So these guys have built a platform for others to be able to build their platform, and I'm absolutely fascinated by this because I'm thinking we should have a bad coin.
The bad crypto coin. Or maybe you can call it Bitcom, since that's your last name.
Or the com coin. And I don't even know what we would do with that. I mean, I don't even know that there would actually be a solution that it would remedy. But, we referred to Dogecoin earlier, and it has what's the market cap on Doge? Go look that up for me while I'm talking about it here. It's primarily used to send funds for benevolent uses. So the Dogecoin community helps good causes by sending this coin, which actually is based on the Shiba dog internet meme, but now has real world value to the tune of what?
The current value is very American history-ish. It's 0.001776 of that's how much it's worth right now. It's worth a tenth of a penny, and the total market cap value is almost $200 million. And the thing is, they got 110 billion Dogecoins, right? So that's why when you're talking about billions of coins, it's when you're talking about Bitcoin having 21 million coins, Dogecoin having 110 billion coins. That's kind of why the value of that is not as high as some of these other ones. A tenth of a penny, Joel.
Yeah, so I actually, because I want to support that community and believe, that it's a great community, what they're doing, I bought like 50,000 Dogecoins, which comes to
like $1.
Well, no, it comes to about $85 is what
Right,
it's worth
nice.
right now.
Nice.
So I don't even know what a bad coin would be worth, but I'm telling you that I'm fascinated with the idea that we could create our own decentralized cryptocurrency and find a real use for it. Now, I think if we did create one, that we would kick it off by giving some away to our listeners, right?
I think so, and then also we have an idea around this. So we have a new phone number that you can actually call in and ask questions to the show. And
yes.
I want to mention that because this could be a way that we could reward people with the bad crypto coin. The number is 708-885-9030. You call that number and you can leave a message, which then becomes a downloadable MP3 that we can put into future episodes. So if you are listening to this, you're the first ones to hear this number. We've not broadcasted this anywhere else.
Nope.
And so you can become a friend of the show and ask a question, have a comment, and we can play your voice on the Bad Crypto podcast.
That's right. And that number again, for those of you listening, is 708-885-9030. That's 708-885-9030. But wait, there's more. When you call now, you actually get two. No, you don't.
You don't. And you might get one of us to pick up the phone, but it's very doubtful.
Yeah, it's a Google Voice voicemail, and we'd love to hear from you. So if you want to call us and leave feedback, please do so. So many ways to reach out to us. But anyway, I am absolutely... Now I understand why we're seeing so many altcoins pop up on the marketplace. And if you go to coinmarketcap.com today, the ones that they're tracking, if I click view all and I scroll down to the very bottom of the page, there are now 1,025 coins that are being, or tokens that are being tracked by CoinMarketCap. And many of them have zero to little value. I mean, there's so many of them that just the volume and trading is so small because many of them aren't even available on an exchange where they could. So and they have question marks next to market cap because there is no known market cap, but there's one that comes in at number 797 called the Caliph coin. Don't know what it is. And it has a market cap of $83. And there's 87,000 coins in circulation, each one worth 0.000955.
A hundredth of a penny.
Yeah. So we're gonna play around with this. We're gonna learn how to create our own token, and we're gonna do it, right? I mean, there's no reason not to have a bad coin.
I agree. And there's actually another really cool website that I found. I believe I discovered it on Reddit this past week. It's called coincap.io. And it updates in real time, whereas the CoinMarketCap site doesn't. This one actually does. When it pops up, it's like, oh, if it pops up green, if the last sale that happened on any of the exchanges worldwide is negative, then it flashes a little bit red. And then if it was a positive, the number went up, then boom, it flashes green. So I've enjoyed looking at coincap.io. Again, we don't know anybody there. None of these sites are actually we're making recommendations on. We're just saying, hey, this is a cool resource that we found, and I enjoy it. It's actually showing that Bitcoin Cash right now is 4.5 billion in market cap and $276 and rocking and rolling.
I'm watching this and I'm thinking this site is an epileptic's nightmare because it's red and green.
True.
This is a disclaimer. If you have epilepsy, you might not want to go to this site because it's constantly updating reds.
Or if your mother-in-law has epilepsy, send her to this site.
So anyway, watch for more discussion on a new altcoin, and I think just based on time, maybe we'll put aside going deeper on altcoins for a future episode because I think it deserves a lot more coverage than we're able to give it here today. But I do want to talk about I was invited to my first pointy-headed crypto conference. I'm going to, again, Matt, who I mentioned earlier, is a speaker at and one of the people behind the D10E. D10E.biz is his site, and the first event that is listed right there right now is called the Startup Societies Summit in San Francisco, August 11th and 12th at City College. And their roster of speakers, the first speaker on here is none other than John McAfee, who made the prediction of a $500,000 Bitcoin in 3 years. Otherwise, he would do something very unseemly on national TV. And there's a lot of names I don't know here, but because I'm just getting involved, but principals and founders in major protocols in cryptocurrencies, and some names I recognize, most that I don't. And I'm going to this because I was invited and I'm fascinated and I don't know who I'm going to meet and I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. You're going to come back with a whole bunch of new BFFs, Mr. Joel. That's going to be awesome. There's all kinds of amazing people that are going to be here, including the Tony Lane, she's the co-founder of Cointelegraph. You have, as you mentioned, John McAfee, the CEO of 21.co. Startup Societies Foundation, all kinds of the chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation and the managing partner of Blockchain Capital. There's going to be some really, really interesting people there. And if you are in the San Francisco area, the 10th and 11th and 12th of August, maybe ping Joel if you're in the area or whatnot, and maybe you guys can connect. Who knows?
Yeah, if you want to check out, tickets are not expensive. I think it's still $200 if it goes to an Eventbrite.
It's like a tenth of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, it is something like that. Tickets are, and I'll just tell you right now, regular general admission ticket is $259 for this 2-day event. And let me just read what it says that this event is. The Startup Society Summit is a trade show for startup societies or small experimental governments such as smart cities, special economic zones, eco-villages, microstates, intentional communities, and even seasteading. Brings together the brightest minds in the field, engineers, policy experts, technologists, that's me, economists, and wordists, entrepreneurs and investors united to build new societies. Join us and gain an edge in the growing, exciting field of competitive governance. I don't even know what they're talking about. I mean, I have a vague idea, but I feel anytime you can put yourself into a situation where you're surrounded by people who are smarter than you, which is most everywhere for me, then I want to be there and try to glean from, because these are futurists. These are people that are building our tomorrows. And I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Fascinating, yeah. And I learned a new word, seasteading. And the Seasteading Institute, opening humanity's next frontier, empowering people to build floating startup societies with innovative governance models. Supported entirely by donations in cryptocurrency. Wow, interesting. That's some pretty fascinating stuff there.
Well, think about it. 2/3 of the planet is water. There's a lot of room there for people to go develop.
Seasteads outside the territory claimed by any government. Very nice. Just build your own little island.
I be a seasteader.
We be using our bad crypto coin for all of our purposes.
Oh my gosh, where is this going? Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening today. We've been taking notes before, during, and will after this podcast and put them on the show notes on the web page for this episode number 5 at badcryptopodcast.com. We're on the socials. Like our page. Come on in and say hello to us. It's Bad Crypto Podcast and at Bad Crypto on the Twitters. The phone number, once again, if you want to reach out to us and have your voice actually heard and perhaps some of your voicemail played in a future episode, is 708-885-9030.
Absolutely. And we really are grateful for your ratings and reviews on iTunes and Google Play and some of those other platforms. And make sure to subscribe if you just tuning in on YouTube, right? We are not only putting our podcast episodes on YouTube, we are also looking to start having some live Facebook conversations periodically that we will then record and place on YouTube. But make sure to tune in to join our Facebook group or our Facebook page, because that's going to be exclusive to people who are friends of Joel or friends of myself or friends on the page, the Bad Crypto page. So that's where you guys will be aware of that. And we got some pretty interesting stuff brewing that we will go into on future episodes to let you know how it goes.
Beercoin. He's brewing it. And, it's amazing with as many thousands of you who have listened, only 27, and we're very grateful for those 27 reviews, but 27 have left reviews on iTunes, and I told you that we would give shout outs to some of them, so let me read from Digital Frost Tech. These guys have the knowledge on crypto news and know how to break down popular crypto events and news to the minds that are not on par with the crypto gods out there, and we're definitely not crypto gods. And B. Marsh said, crushed it. First place I came across to make sense of crypto. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for making me sound smarter than I am. And we do that by sounding smarter than we are.
And actually, I believe that is the head marketing technologist for CarMax. I believe he reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, wow, this is the first time that somebody has actually helped make sense of this, because
you
he started
the guy. You just totally doxed his iTunes ID.
Dang, that was not good, Travis. He's a great guy, though. I really like Mr. B. Marsh. He's a good fellow.
So I'm assuming his name is something, B. Marsh. So good for him. And also
Bob Martinshankles. It's a great guy. Great guy.
Excellent. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. And thanks to all of you. It's been a great fun. Another episode of the Bad Crypto Podcast coming your way soon. And what else you got, Trav?
I just want to say thank you for tuning in. It's been a great ride so far. We are, testing out new things, and we tried out the Bad Crypto Minute on Instagram, and we're growing that platform over there. And our SoundCloud. We have all these different sites for you to check out. And again, just go to the website, Bad Crypto Podcast. All of the show notes, any resources that we share that week are going to be located in those show notes. And always feel free to reach out to us if you have a question.
And of course, what are we going to do today, Brain? Come on. There's a Pinky and the Brain reference.
Oh, I've never watched that show.
Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Trying to take over the world.
Very nice.
Bad. Stay so bad.